What I'm about to say may seem impossible, but did you know you can actually eat more food and still lose weight? Today we're going to talk about a dieting strategy that allows you to do just that, so you can eat larger portions, feel fuller for longer, and maybe even make dieting enjoyable. This way of eating is called volume eating and may even be the secret to you or your client's weight loss success. Today I'm going to show you exactly how to start volume eating so you can lose more weight, and I'll even tell you exactly what foods to add to your grocery list. But first let's talk about what volume eating is. When most people think about weight loss, they think that in order to cut their calories, they need to eat as little as possible. And while this is true that you need to be in a calorie deficit in order to burn fat and probably eat less overall calories than you're used to, that doesn't mean that you need to eat less food. You see, the people that lose weight successfully, they are not the ones that starve themselves day in and day out, fighting through the hunger. Instead, they are choosing foods that are lower in calories and higher in protein, which allows them to eat more food while staying in a calorie deficit. This is called volume eating, where you can eat more food while still losing weight, but you have to pick the right kinds of foods. We'll get to some examples of foods that are great for this in just a minute, but for right now, let me show you how to find the foods that are going to work best, as well as why volume eating works so well. The secret lies in the macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, and fat that supply the calories that we eat. Both carbohydrates and fat supply 4 calories per gram, and for fats it's over double that because 1 gram of dietary fat has nearly 9 calories. Just by knowing this information, you're probably starting to guess that foods that are lower in fat are a good place to start. Because of this, foods that are higher in fat are going to supply more calories even if they're nutritious, which isn't a bad thing. It doesn't mean you should avoid them entirely, but you are going to need to be mindful of them. These foods are good from a nutrient standpoint because they do supply some protein as well as healthy fat. However, for one serving, which is around 2 tablespoons of nut butter, it's going to supply around 200 calories. And you can get through another 100 calories by just eating 15 almonds. These foods don't go very far when you consider how much food you're getting for the calories. With that in mind, it doesn't mean that you need to completely cut out these foods or fats altogether, but it does mean that you should probably manage some of your higher fat foods so you can get the most out of the calories you're eating. Because when you do, you'll be able to eat a physically larger amount of food. Imagine this: for the same 200 calories in those 2 tablespoons of nut butter, you can have a very large salad with low calorie dressing, chicken breast, a bunch of vegetables for roughly the same amount of calories. And when you compare these two meals, it's easy to see that the salad meal is going to be much larger in size and more complete in the macronutrients, especially protein, which is going to be a fat loss superfood. It's going to help you stay full, increase your muscle mass, and is generally low in calories, as well as many other nutrients being included in the vegetables and greens. You'll feel much more full and satisfied than you would if you were just eating the 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. And since you're eating a larger quantity of food, you're going to feel like you're having a full meal, which will help you lose weight without even feeling like you're on a diet. And once you see that you're able to get results and lose weight without starving yourself for the entire day, it's going to motivate you all the more. So now that you know how volume eating works, let's go over the top 10 foods that you can eat that are high in volume and still allow you to lose weight, starting with number 1, strawberries. Strawberries are a great choice for fruit because they are very high in volume and very low in calories, as well as high in other nutrients. A whole cup of strawberries is actually less than 50 calories, so they are a great way to add volume to your meals. Strawberries are some of the least calorie dense forms of berries, but in reality you can't really go wrong with any of them. Eating them fresh and on their own is great, but you can also buy them frozen and add them to smoothies. And since they're popular and always in demand, you'll always be able to get them. Number 2, spinach and leafy greens. Eating more of any leafy green vegetable is going to be a great way to increase the volume with very little calories. 100 grams of spinach is only around 25 calories, so in reality you could fill up an entire 1-pound container of spinach, adding it to a massive salad, and the spinach would only account for around 100 calories. And beyond spinach, there's many other greens you can eat, like lettuce and kale and even cabbage. So with so much variety, it's quite easy to make it a staple in your fat loss diet. Foods like spinach really take volume eating to the next level, and if you want to eat all of these foods and still lose weight, including desserts and snacks that are low in calories, go to the first link in the description below, and you can get a copy of my high volume grocery list that you can use with yourself or with your fat loss clients. Number 3, cauliflower. 1 cup of cauliflower has less than 30 calories, making it an easy way to add a lot of volume to your meals. While snacking on cauliflower alone is okay, let's be honest, it's not the first thing you're gonna pick. Cauliflower has exploded over the last decade as an alternative to some of your favorite higher calorie foods like cauliflower rice, gnocchi, and even pizza crust. These substitutions aren't exactly the same thing, but they still taste pretty good when seasoned correctly. And a lot of these you can buy frozen, already already prepared. For example, Trader Joe's has their spicy Mexican cauliflower rice that has only around 200 calories per bag, which is great as a side or in burritos, as well as their cauliflower fried rice is equally as good. Now let's move on to our fourth food, number 4, watermelon. Even though most fruits and vegetables deserve a spot on this list, I'm only going to talk about one more so we can talk about some of the other categories. But watermelon we must include because as the name implies, it includes a lot of water, which increases its volume for not a lot of calories. Watermelon is actually 92% water, so when you're eating it, you're eating mostly water and not a lot of calories. And staying hydrated, which is another bonus. For around a cup of watermelon, it's only going to be around 45 total calories. So just by going off this list so far, you'll notice that it's really easy to increase the volume of your diet by just including more fruits and vegetables. But for a quality diet, you're going to need more than that. You're going to need more protein, which is why our next foods are going to be focused on that. Let's talk about number 5, chicken breast. One of the best protein sources around for volume eating is going to be chicken, more specifically chicken breast. Now, just like a lot of other foods, chicken can be made into a super high calorie meal very quickly. So you want to make sure you're preparing it in a way that doesn't add a ton of calories. This might mean baking, grilling, or even air frying boneless, skinless chicken breast instead of just eating deep fried chicken wings. Trust me, there is a big difference. Overall, chicken breast is a very lean meat. For around 100 gram cooked serving, it's going to be around 120 to 130 calories. And that's because it's virtually all protein, very little fat, around 3 to 4 grams. And by eating more chicken, you're going to be eating more protein, which is a very important part of volume eating. Not only do we want to increase the physical mass, but we also want to increase the protein. That's what helps keep you full and also eating less calories. Along with chicken, we also have some other good protein options. Moving to number 6, Greek yogurt. The best way to eat Greek yogurt for the sake of weight loss is going to be the plain unflavored stuff. This is going to cut out a lot of the extra calories and really just isolate the protein, but sweetened and flavored Greek yogurt are still going to be good options, especially if you can't tolerate just the plain stuff. Just know that there's going to be some added calories for that. If you do go for the non-fat plain Greek yogurt though, it's going to be around 90 to 100 calories for every 3/4 cup serving, supplying around 18 grams of protein as well. Pair it with some fruit in a bowl or add it to a smoothie and you're gonna have a very filling, low calorie meal. Plus, as far as preparation goes, it's gonna be quick and easy because you don't need to cook anything, it's ready. You can also use Greek yogurt in place of sour cream and heavy cream in some recipes. It's very versatile. Let's move on to number 7, which is going to be egg whites. Egg whites are a little twist to a very common breakfast food, the egg. You see, the egg yolk is where most of the fat is stored, so when you remove that, you're eating virtually all protein. An egg white itself is going to have around 4 grams of protein and only 20 calories, as opposed to a whole egg that's going to have around 70 calories and an additional 6 grams of fat. One trick is to buy those pre-packaged liquid egg whites so you don't have to separate them out yourself and waste the egg yolk. Keep in mind, whole eggs do have a ton of nutrients though, so I'm not saying to avoid those entirely, but when you balance out whole eggs while adding some egg whites, you're going to have more protein and more volume for not as many calories. Getting to our last foods on the list here, let's talk about number 8, lentils. Lentils are a great plant-based protein source with quite a bit of fiber and most importantly, not a lot of calories. For a half cup of cooked lentils, it's gonna be around 120 calories with 9 grams of protein. And you can add them to virtually anything like salads, soups, and so much more. And if you buy them already cooked in the can, they're gonna have a great shelf life, so they're always easy to keep around. Let's move to some fun stuff. Number 9, low-calorie desserts. Believe it or not, you don't have to neglect your sweet tooth in order to lose weight. There are many dessert foods out there that are high in volume and low in calories that you can include. Some examples are sugar-free Jell-O, Halo Top ice cream, and even Smart Sweets candy, and beyond what you can buy in the store. There are a million recipes online for high volume, low calorie desserts that can satisfy your sweet tooth while losing weight. And number 10, this might be the MVP, popcorn. Popcorn may be the definition of a volume food because it goes from that small kernel to its puffy eating form. And as long as you're eating air popped popcorn that doesn't have tons of butter on it or other ingredients, it's going to be low in calories. Most people also forget that popcorn is a whole grain, so it's going to be full of good carbohydrates as well as fiber. And when it doesn't have a bunch of butter added to it, around 40 grams of popcorn kernels is going to make around 7 to 8 cups of popcorn. And that's only gonna be around 120 calories total. And that's everything you need to know about volume eating and a helpful list of foods that you can enjoy so you can eat more food and lose more weight and never feel like you're on a diet. Again, if you want a list of all the foods we talked about in today's video and more, go to the first link in my description below. And you're gonna get a copy of my high volume grocery list that you can use for yourself or your nutrition clients. And as great as all those tips are, if you're really serious about starting a nutrition coaching business, the next thing I'm gonna have you do is check out this video I've linked up right here. In that video, I'm gonna show you the exact formula for successful weight loss. You'll learn it right here. So check it out now, and I'll see you in the next video.